Hello and welcome to the Kia Niro plug-in hybrid channel. This is our 2023 Kia Niro PHEV. I'm Kevin Drake, and this is a video journal of this car, its performance and durability. And we love this car, but we had to use the warranty for the first time. So I'll make the first part of this video very short. Everything's actually in great shape now. They replaced a power cable inverter, and essentially that's the main power cable that goes from your hybrid power control unit. So this is the power cable inverter. This is what they changed. This carries that 360 volt power from the battery to the hybrid power control unit. If you pull this piece up, you'll see a positive and negative terminal where these connect into, and they were able to test it from this place with that MEG tester to test the insulation quality of what's wrapped around these cables. The typical test, the results are typically around 550 mega ohms, so like an open circuit, like the insulation is excellent. But as I'll explain in a second, how we got here, essentially one of those leads, the positive or negative there, was reading 0.35 mega ohms. And so there must have been a rupture, something went wrong in the insulation there, but the car caught it and had me make an appointment. And it looks on the internet from reading the Kia Niro forums and just searching online for others who have encountered this issue, either from the Gen 1 or Gen 2. And just to get an idea of those numbers again, they sold about 35,000 of this model in the US, 35,000 cars. Sold about 30,000 to their own people in Korea, because this car is still made in Korea, and like 100,000 to Europe, different countries in Europe. So there's a lot of these cars out there, maybe 175,000 cars. And I haven't seen a lot of evidence of this, so I don't think it's a systemic thing or something to worry about, and we are very happy to have the car back. And they handled the warranty very well. I mean, I got a loaner car from our dealership. It took them a few days to diagnose, and then it took them a week to get the part. So like a $1,400 part, and I'll show you up on here on the screen what it is. And but installation was pretty easy, I'm guessing. Anyway, you can let them do it, but the installation was pretty quick. So now we can go into a little bit of a deeper dive for anyone who's interested in exactly how they tested the system and how we got to this point. The first thing I'll say is when I left work on April 8th, I turned on my air conditioner and it was already cold out. Now, I don't know if this is part of the issue or not, but I haven't used the air conditioner on the car really at all. And on my dashboard, I got a check hybrid system light that came on, a red light. And then maybe 10 miles later, right under that, there's another red light. I hope you never see these things, but it's your high voltage battery light. And that was like flickering. And I did kind of notice that the flickering had something to do with hitting bumps. I couldn't make the correlation every time. But in hindsight, and even in the moment, it did seem like, oh, do we have like a short? Is something shorting here? Because when that hybrid check hybrid system light comes on, essentially you don't have really you can communicate back to the battery, but you don't have your regen braking. The battery's not jumping in to assist essentially your hybrid system. I mean that when your gas engine is on, that moves through your electric motor. So the motor can come on whenever to assist you when you're using your gas engine, your ICE engine. So I think it was confusing, like the operation of the car was not as smooth at idle. I think the hybrid control unit was trying to get power from the battery and through the battery management system, and it couldn't. But that light came on. And essentially, so I brought the car to them the next day, and they gave me the loaner Jeep, but I had to pay actually for the first 2 days before the warranty kicked in. So not kicked in, but until they could open a ticket and they knew without doubt that it was covered by warranty, which it was going to be covered. It was not some act of God or something. So that was a little bit stressful. So loaner car cost $100. But then once they had opened the ticket up with Kia and it was obvious it was a high voltage issue and not the owner's fault, then diagnosing it just came down to essentially what they did was, because these are both your traction motor, your 60,000 watt 80 horsepower electric motor, and your hybrid starter generator, those two high voltage motors are both three-phase motors, so they can test each of those leads on each of those three phases, and they can test it against ground using this MIG tester. So they can test for resistance there. They discovered, okay, the electric motors are working fine, so now let's unplug these all the other high voltage systems, which include your heater, your PCT heater, your air conditioning unit, the onboard charger, all your hybrid systems, everything you see there on orange. And so they could just test the leads back to the battery and the insulation on that. And yeah, so they discovered that one of them, some of the shielding, I don't know, must have gotten damaged. The thing is, you can't take the cable. I asked them if I could have the part, but they have to send it back to Kia America, which is in Irvine, California, but they have to send it back to Kia, and which makes sense. But it would be really neat to have explored what could have gone wrong there, and where the cable was physically damaged. So anyway, they checked the other cars in the lot, found out that this 550 mega ohms really was the exact number they were shooting for. They replaced the cable, and then they drove the car for 34 miles, and through the KDS, the Kia diagnostic systems, everything was fine, and it's been great. I mean, I'm happy to have the car back. I really like the car, and but I thought you should all know about this. So yeah, I'll put up the diagrams for the power cable inverter, and yeah, it's pretty well protected under a cowl under the car, and your high voltage battery is right there under the passenger seat, and so yeah, I'm not sure really how something went wrong, but I'm very happy to have the car back. I think Kia did very well with handling the warranty, and yeah, so hopefully we'll have many more miles before we have another issue, but right now we're in good shape, and just wanted to give you that report.